Here are the pros and cons of living in Dallas, Georgia. Dallas is located in Paulding County in the northwest part of Metro Atlanta. The first pro of living there is that the average home price is about $360,000, which is amazing considering that for many of the other suburbs in Metro Atlanta, the average home price is closer to 500,000 or even 600,000. So 360,000 in the last 60 days in Dallas, Georgia is awesome. This is probably one of the biggest reasons why so many people move to the city of Dallas. No question that the cost of living in Dallas is much lower than other cities in Metro Atlanta. And I think the biggest reason for that is that Dallas is kind of on the outskirts of Metro Atlanta. It's really kind of far from the city of Atlanta. And this is very common with many of the suburbs that are far from the city of Atlanta. And Dallas is just like that. Dallas is about 30, actually about 45 minutes to an hour from the city of Atlanta. So home values are a lot lower there. And then also it's far less populated than the city of Atlanta. So there's another benefit as well. If you're looking for an area where there's not a whole lot of people, not a whole lot of traffic or lines for the grocery stores, Dallas is certainly like that. Not a lot of people in that small area, the city of Dallas. Another benefit of living in this awesome city is that there is quite a bit of new construction there. There's not really a whole lot of new construction in other suburbs around Metro Atlanta, but because there's still plenty of space in the city of Dallas, you're going to be able to find new construction homes there. Of course, if you're thinking about moving to Dallas or any of the suburbs around Metro Atlanta, feel free to call, text, or email me anytime. Thank you so much to everyone who has reached out. I'm always happy to help. But finding new construction homes can be kind of difficult in cities like Alpharetta or Marietta, where there's just not enough land left for new developers. But because there's still plenty of land available for new development in the city of Dallas, you're going to find plenty of new construction there. There really wasn't a whole lot of new construction of homes after 2008. So like between 2008 and 2012, you don't really see a lot of homes built during that time period. So mostly what you're going to find in the city is homes that were built in like the 70s and 80s and new construction homes, maybe within the last 5 years. So if living in an area where the cost of living is lower and you're wanting to live in a home that has been built in the last 5 years, Dallas is certainly a great option. Another pro about living in this city is that there are plenty of parks, plenty of green space in this city. And then you're going to see that there's a lot of trees in Dallas. Like, again, like the farther you go away from the city of Atlanta, there's more area for new development, but that also means that there's a lot of land that is undeveloped, a lot of trees, a lot of pine trees, a lot of green space, and this is super common in the city of Dallas. So sometimes it can kind of feel like you're living in the woods. It can kind of feel like Dallas is very quiet. It's a very quiet, small town, a very peaceful feeling town. And this all has to do with the amount of trees and vegetation that you would find in this city. Which brings us to the next pro about living in Dallas is that it's really a beautiful city. It's a very well-kept city. Many of the residents who live there take pride in their community, take pride in their homes. And so the parks are very well kept. The homes and the properties are very well kept. The downtown Dallas area is well kept. And so this is a great benefit for all of the residents of Dallas. And so something to consider if you're thinking about moving to Dallas, Georgia. And then another benefit of living in Dallas is that the crime rate is relatively low here in Dallas. It's not like the city of Atlanta. Of course, the bigger the city, the more crime you're going to find. So Atlanta certainly has a much higher crime rate, but because Dallas is so far away from the city of Atlanta, there's not as much crime there. And this is certainly one of the reasons why so many people move to Dallas. They want to get away from like the big city feel. They want to get away from the crowds, from the crime. And Dallas is a great option for that. Very low crime in the city of Dallas, Georgia. Okay, now let's talk about the downsides of living in this city. One of those downsides is that there's going to be those older homes, and with older homes comes lots of deferred maintenance. This really is something that's problematic all around Metro Atlanta and is no stranger to the city of Dallas. With these older homes, you're going to find homes that have roofs that are 20 years old or HVAC systems that are 30 years old. And so this all has to do with the fact that the home values are much lower there. So people are not as willing to invest $20,000 into a new roof or $10,000 into new flooring for their home. So it's super common to find more carpeted homes in the city of Dallas than in other suburbs. And again, that all has to do with the average home values there. So this kind of deferred maintenance or homes that are not modernized is super common in the city of Dallas. Unless, of course, it's a new construction home. But the homes that were built decades ago, 70s and 80s, you really have to take a hard look at some of the major systems of those homes. This is why having a home inspection is super important. Any home inspector is going to be able to tell you the age of a roof, the age of the HVAC system, making sure that the siding is okay, making sure that there isn't any water intrusion in the home. And with homes that were built this long ago, it is even more important to have a home inspection. Another downside to living in Dallas is that the commute to the city of Atlanta can be pretty long. Again, about 45 minutes to an hour. When you add in rush hour traffic, you could even be looking at an hour and 15 minutes to get to downtown Atlanta from Dallas. So the commute to Atlanta is terrible. And so you really want to take that into consideration if you're going to be living in Dallas and working in Atlanta. And then in addition to that, you're going to see that there's not really a whole lot of jobs in the city of Dallas. Dallas is not known for having like a bustling economy. Many of the people who live in Dallas work in one of the other suburbs or work in the city of Atlanta. So while this is a great family-friendly city, it's not the kind of city where you're going to find a big economy or lots of jobs. And then another downside to living in the city of Dallas is that there is no really like nightlife in Dallas, Georgia. You're not going to find bars or restaurants that are open to midnight in Dallas. That's not really the kind of thing that you would find there. Many of the things in Dallas are going to close at like 9 o'clock. There's not really a whole lot to do after 9 o'clock in the city of Dallas. So if living in a city where there's plenty of things to do in the evening is important to you, then Dallas is not really a good fit for that. Another downside of living in the city of Dallas is that it's a relatively small city. So if there's something that you need, whether it's like typical daily errands that you might do, you might not be able to find that in the city of Dallas. It's very possible that you would have to travel to another suburb for some of those things, which is not common with all of the suburbs of Atlanta. Some cities like Marietta or Alpharetta tend to have all of the things that you would need for living in that city, but Dallas is a much smaller city, so it's very likely that you would be traveling to other suburbs for different activities throughout the day. If getting the most home for your money is super important to you, then Dallas is a great option. But if you don't like what you're hearing about this city, then you might want to know what the other best suburbs are of Metro Atlanta. In this video, we talk about the best suburbs in Metro Atlanta. I'll see you there.